Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Thor from Card Mafia. Not too long ago, Card Mafia got the license from Disney to start producing a series of decks based around some of the heroes of the Marvel Universe. And we've seen them go with an Avengers theme with decks like Iron Man and Captain America, but among all of those Avengers, Thor has to be my personal favorite. The God of Thunder was a little bit of a B-list comic book hero before making his appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe back in 2011. He was originally created all the way back in 1962 when he appeared in a comic book that was drawn by legend Jack Kirby and written by the one and only Stan Lee. And since then, he's, obviously been a bit of a mainstay in the comics, but not one of the main superheroes. But ever since he's become part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Avengers, he's really become a big hit. His movies are some of my favorites out there. And so really excited to get a hold of this unique deck, and particularly the Tuck Box. You may have seen pictures of this, so you'll know what to expect as we get into this one. But let's dive into it and check the entire deck out. So starting with that Tuck Box. It is an oversized Tuck Box. You'll see in a second why. And the outside is done with some really deep embossing, some foiling on here. You can see the shine of both the black and the silver. And the whole thing is designed to look like the Asgardian armor that Thor wore. You get those sort of circular patterns that you'd find on his chest plate, beautiful lines, the scale texture all the way through, and even hints of his red cape. As you wrap it around, you'll see Thor written there, a little image of Mjolnir there at the top, and the back designed to look like the back of his armor. I will say the only thing that I wish they would have done is done a little bit more with the red to show off the cape, just because I think that's such a distinctive feature of his outfit. But it's a really beautiful textured look to the whole thing. In the bottom here, you get a little bit of ad copy for, of course, Marvel, and you even get the holographic Disney sticker. They call it the anti-counterfeit sticker down there. The top has Thor, but then as you open it up, you get to the truly unique feature of this deck. It's held closed right here in the center with a really nice magnetic enclosure, but as you snap it open, the entire deck fans open to reveal the inside. It's a great, unique shape. Well, I should say unique. It's been done a few other times before, like on the Luna Moon deck, but never to this amazing effect. And you may have noticed as I open it up, the light up feature there in the center of Mjolnir, the famous hammer that Thor wielded. And I'll open it up again. You can see there it starts out, and then as you open the whole thing up, it actually lights up and lifts the cards out for you to get to right there in the center. Beautiful look to it. There's the fan from the back. Love those little accents of red, and then you can reach right in and grab the cards out of the center. It's an amazing, just truly impressive Tuck Box. And this right here, you see this little pull tab here. This is where the circuitry is held into place so that you can get to the batteries to change out, so you can keep that light glowing. But very cool Tuck Box. Love the sturdiness of that magnetic enclosure. You can see the metal bar there on either side that gives it a nice satisfying snap shut. There you go. That is the Tuck case. Really great look to it overall, but let's look at the cards and see how they live up. We'll start off with the back design, and here it is. And I gotta say, for as impressive as the Tuck Box is with all that embossing and foiling, the back design ends up looking a little bit flat. I think it's probably because some of the darker textures back here just really don't show up quite as much, but it's clearly a back design that's inspired by the Asgardian armor. You get those circular emblems again, the red giving that hint of the cape, and then the navy blue and the black with, you look really closely there, you can see Mjolnir there in the corners. So inspired by bits of Thor, finishes out with that thin white poker border, but definitely a little bit flat, maybe a little bit dark, not enough contrast in this one to stand up to how impressive that Tuck Box looks. But onto the cards. So you get a pair of Jokers. They feature identical artwork of course, Mjolnir there, sitting in the center. The scratched and dinged up worn hammer of Thor has Thor underneath, and then Joker in the corners. A little bit of nice silver background there. I do like the silver metallic inks that are used on this one. It has a nice little glow to it. So definitely do appreciate that piece. And then that Avengers logo in the corners. So there's your two Jokers. Not too bad. Definitely a little bit on the ordinary side. Again, I think everything's going to look kind of ordinary compared to that Tuck Box. All right, then on to the aces. Ace of Spades, definitely the power ace, features an image of Thor there in the center with Mjolnir hovering above his head. Avengers, I could have done without the words on here. I think that's definitely a little bit unnecessary. Pip and Index in the corner, definitely has that sort of modern feel to it. Interesting, just sort of a triangle shape for the spade pip, but still fairly easy to read, at least the Index is. The other three aces just feature Mjolnir in the center of a very stylized, modern, sort of technological looking pip in the center. I definitely do wish that, particularly look at like the club and the diamond, or the club and the heart, I should say. Definitely a little bit harder to distinguish as their specific pips, but not too bad overall. It's kind of an interesting look to them. And again, you can see where just putting Avengers at the bottom of each one of them gets a little bit annoying, just seems unnecessary. All right, but now on to the number cards. So the number cards all feature those custom pips, same style we're looking at before, that border around the edge with the hits of silver metallics with the Avengers logo, same pip and Index in the corner. And again, kind of suffers from not quite as recognizable pips as I might have liked. So the spades are just simple, a pair of diamonds, or a pair of triangles there. There's the diamonds, those are nice and recognizable. So the black cards are classic black, the red cards are red, and of course those accents of the silver metallic around the edge. And then there's the clubs, which we hadn't just looked at the spades, those could very easily be spade pips. So definitely could have used a little better distinguishing on these, but I think it's meant to be more thematic than functional. And then into the hearts, which are just the upside down triangle. That's probably the most jarring one for me to recognize. It takes me a second to realize those are hearts. All right, and then we get onto the court cards. And like a lot of things in the deck, the court cards I think are a bit of a weaker point. And again, everything with the cards is definitely a little bit weak compared to the tuck box, which is really the highlight of the whole deck. But the court cards all feature images of Thor. Mixtures of black ink, silver metallic ink, and then of course the accents of red from his cape. And they all just feature Thor in sort of classic poses, whether it's wielding his hammer or having hurled Mjolnir off at somebody or hammering it into the ground, maybe to summon lightning in some way. Definitely pretty nice artwork on these, definitely in that comic book style. And once again, the words top and the bottom definitely seem unnecessary. To label this as Thor every single one and put Avengers at the bottom, could have left that off and I think it would have been just as good or even better. But all one-way quartz across these. And then as you get to the diamonds, you get the same thing, that black ink been replaced by red, so it's definitely a distinguishable red card. A little bit of a different pose on these. And then as you turn to the clubs, we're going to repeat the artwork from the spades. You look like the Jack of Spades and the Jack of Clubs there, exactly the same artwork. So you do get some repeated artwork, which I suppose there's only so many different ways that you can draw Thor. And then as you get to the hearts, we have the same artwork that we saw on the diamonds. So nice artwork, but definitely some flaws, I would say, in the court cards. The repeated artwork, putting Thor on all 12 of them, I think was a bit of a miss. Would have loved to have seen some of the other characters from the universe expressed in here. You know, characters like Jane Foster or Odin, Heimdall, Sif. There were so many different ones I think you could have chosen from to kind of bring more life to these, whether they be some of the heroes that fought by his side or villains like Loki that fought against him. So bit of a miss there, but you know, really a lot of the reason people are going to buy this is as a display piece with this amazing tuck box, and that lives up to everything. And for me, this tuck box alone just sort of makes it worth a consideration on your part. This is going to be the memorable part. Nobody's even going to remember the cards because, you know, those are a little bit lackluster in comparison. But a beautiful package overall. And if you like this one, go check out the Iron Man deck, the Captain America deck, or the Spider-Man deck. And I would guess that we're going to see even more from Card Mafia in the future. Beautiful, really unique and distinctive deck, and one that you put that on your shelf is going to stand out for anybody. But anyway, that is it. That is the look at the Thor deck from Card Mafia. Hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.